Obviously, the big news is the Prime Minister's forced landing. Did you see that footage?
No.
Prime Minister John Howard's plane was forced into an emergency landing in war-torn Iraq last night when it became apparent the in-flight movie was Wild Hogs. No, that's not true. Did you see him screaming out of the plane?
Yeah.
Running, shrieking, hands in the air.
So much smoke, it was like Ray Fiennes was getting up to a rather busy session.
Smoking it up.
At Burning Rubber.
I love the Prime Minister's outfits too. You know, he has a selection of costumes. You've got normal suit.
Normal suit?
You've got visiting farmers, the sort of tweedy greenish suit with the elbow patches.
And the farmer's hat.
You've
freshly pressed.
Meeting the army, the leather jacket.
Oh, yeah,
He's just copied that one off George Bush, the leather bomber jacket.
Digging the bomber jacket.
And then the gimp outfit for round the house. He's got all bases covered. But did you guys see Peter Costello's press conference yesterday?
No.
Oh, it was pretty chilling. Have a listen to this.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by reassuring you the Prime Minister is safe. You must have seen the footage of him running from the plane, screaming like a schoolgirl, waving his hands in the air. I mean, sure, some might suggest that that's, not prime ministerial behaviour. Maybe there's someone else, someone who might have done a better job of emerging from that plane. And someone with perhaps a better grasp of the economic fundamentals. But that's not for me to say, and I'd rather you wouldn't suggest such a thing. Well, the fact is we're all slightly distracted by, obviously, the assassination attempt. And, it's over now. Rudd's been foiled. And, ask yourself this. Where was Kevin Rudd on the weekend? Who's to say he wasn't in Baghdad with a ground-to-air missile? Well, okay, maybe he's, controlling it from back here, in a restaurant in Perth. He's sitting there, Brian Burke's working the joystick, Tony Mockbell's, navigating, Bradley John Murdoch's over at the salad bar, throwing in suggestions. I mean, I wouldn't put anything past Rudd and his cronies.
But the report says
Well, what are you people pilots now? I mean, it's a plane. It's full of smoke. I mean, it's a confusing environment. Who knows if it was smoke? Maybe it was, a swarm of killer wasps that Rudd and Burke and Mockbell have, released from the overhead lockers, by remote control. Who's to say that they weren't planning to redirect that plane towards, an orphanage full of kiddies? And where's the team of inspectors round at his house looking for killer bees? I mean, wouldn't that be the place to start?
What about Mr. Costello? We're off the point. What about these accusations about the death of Kevin Rudd's father? The hospital. These are outrageous.
What exactly was the young Kevin Rudd up to?
But at the hospital.
I'm sure we've all seen that film, The Omen. There's a lot of loose ends that need tying up. Let me ask you this: who was known as Dr. Death when he was working in Queensland?
Yes, but surely.
Who's to say Rudd himself? Well, nobody would stop the question. It wouldn't be until, the garroted corpses of various members of staff are found piled high in an airing cupboard at the basement of the hospital that maybe people start to put two and two together. Who was that young Dr. Rudd we had in last week? Well, you wouldn't be able to find them because he would have burnt them in his incinerator, along with, his buddies, Mockbell and Burke and Hannibal Lecter. Fictional. You mean like the story of why Rudd got thrown off the farm? Oh, well, that's, we accept one fictional story, we turn our noses up at another. When we come around to election time and we say, do we want the common sense, hand on the tiller, steady as she goes approach of Prime Minister Costello, Howard, or do we want Dr. Death strapped to a gurney, using his tongue, which extends from his body a good 20 metres, and can strangle a kiddie and slam them into a wall, splattering brains across a poor elderly person's pension book, and calling that policy? It's time to have a look at ourselves, I think. A few people want that. All I can say is John Howard is safe. Kevin Rudd is a murderer.
Where is your
which piece of news are you going to report tomorrow? My guess is it'll all be about the plane flight, and there won't be anything about Rudd and the rotting, stinking corpses piling up in his basement. And, if you can't handle the truth, people, please stop asking me all these questions about Kevin Rudd. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening.
Okay, all right. I don't know. What is the story?
Well,
He's producing constant evidence of Rudd's murders.
It's the wasps I'm most worried
The
about
killer bees now.
because they can go. Who knows how? If they can get all the way to Iraq
yeah. I mean,
from Perth, then
When
they
are the
can get in
authorities-
here. They'll get in here.
When are the authorities going to act on this?
I don't
bloke?
know. He is.
they're persistent journalists, aren't they, in the background? I want to be one of those.
You
someday.
can't. You're not Tone.
It's fantastic.
Pretty annoying, I think.
Is it at all possible that they looked at the mess and went, look, Santoro's no good, this porno dude's hanging about. Let's create a smoke screen. Good idea.
Yeah.
Hey,